Good evening, Resilience family. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. It's been a peaceful one for me. A little tired. I had to share that with Andre. Um, but I picked up, some work overnight, contracted actually in a field that's dear to my heart. It's a group home for boys, actually.
Mhm.
Um, and I was there last night. But guys, we are here for another wonderful episode of Resilience with Dawn Olivia. So today we're continuing our empowering conversation with Andre Bell of ELE Wealth in our episode Merging Faith and Finances. So today we kind of switching gears, y'all, because it's the month of June. It's men's mental health month. So I want to focus this towards the men. Something I don't do much here on my platform, because I'm aimed at the moms, at the women. But I like to get men on here to give y'all guys some gems, some guidance, um, start some healing, and just learn. So take some notes, y'all. Take some notes because Andre has a vision, and I love his vision for tonight. So, guys, welcome, Andre Bell. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing extremely well. Had a long weekend, as you can tell. I might look a little darker than the last time you seen me.
Yes, you've been
Yeah,
out there in the sun.
I've been out there in the sun, umpiring baseball games for the youth. It's my way of giving back to the community
Yeah.
consistently. I was a Division One athlete, and I love baseball. Always, will forever love baseball. So to get the opportunity to give back to the community and still be around the game, it's an amazing feeling. So I'm getting a little better pecan tan on, like I've been
Yeah, you
publicized.
better get some of that sunblock lotion. I saw they don't like us talking about we don't need it, but we need it too, okay?
Look,
Especially light skin versions, okay?
look, I'm so grateful for my wife because she came with me today, and she
Oh,
was making
sweet.
sure that I was reapplying some sunscreen because the sun was out scorching today.
I
She
know
was in
that's
extreme
right.
health.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know what? It's warm everywhere. I've been looking around, the globe, and yeah, we going through some heat across
yeah.
the globe. Anyway, I know that's going down a rabbit hole, but it really is. It just made
Uh,
me ponder for there for a second.
Both temperature wise and politically wise, but that's a whole different
We
conversation.
is we right. Yeah. Will I ever talk about that on my platform? I honestly don't know, but we shall see what
Woo!
God has in store. Because
Yeah.
He in control of it all. I ain't
Yes,
gonna
he
stress
is.
on that. But so okay, before we jump in, again, reintroduce yourself, tell, the audience a little bit about yourself, who you are. And then after that, of course, I'm going to ask you again because, guys, this is part two of Andre Bell, and I am glad he is joining me. Need your meaning of resilience.
So my name is Andre Bell. I am a financial advisor in Metro Detroit area in Michigan. However, we service clients all across the nation and globe. Even we are international. We just celebrated 25 years on Friday. That was a very, very momentous occasion. Yeah. So that was
Congrats.
amazing. I've been with the company for a little over 2 years. Well, going on 2 years actually. But I've been investing for about 5, 6 years since I graduated college. I
Mhm.
graduated from the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, HBCU, with a degree in social work with a minor in psychology. Uh, and that was because I really wanted to understand myself and how I could help people to the best of my ability. I knew I
Mhm.
was sent here to serve people, but I needed to learn how to do that, how to hear people out, how to understand people. So going and understanding psychology and sociology was all piecing together a framework that God had put in my heart and my spirit to serve. But first, I had to learn people, and I had to understand how we think, how we act, and how we move, and why. Because why
Yes.
is as important as what we do. So, I was always asking the question, well, why? You always find yourself questioning why are certain things happening. I grew up in Detroit, Michigan, and my mom made sure very early that I knew about my pro-black, that she was raised in a black man in America,
Yes.
just to see what can be done to a group of people, uh, to a whole race of people was very astonishing, and it made me really aware of where we were, and even studying, being in church, because I was also raised in the Word. Just hearing about this, how they treated Jesus, how they treated this perfect man in an
Yeah.
imperfect world. It was like no other, and it purged so many questions as to why do we show so much hate? Why is
Mm,
inside of us? Why is that all that we ooze out? And I learned that's all we ooze out, because most of the time that's all we take in. And
mm, that's
humans
good.
are sponges, and we can only give what we take in all our life. So, being a black man in America, we take in so much hatred that
Yeah.
eventually division and separation, that's all that can come about of us. You know,
Yeah.
it's what we take in, it's what we listen to, it's in the music, it's in what we read or don't,
Mm,
per se. It's about what we see, what we hear often, and they push certain things and put certain things in our mind and in our atmosphere to really to to believe the imagery in our minds, the bondage that they still have on us. I just did a post on my Instagram because
mm-hmm.
we celebrated Juneteenth on Thursday,
Yes.
and when we were talking about the holiday of Juneteenth, it represents freedom. But so many times, our people, we say we're free, but we
Right.
still live in mental bondage. We
That's
still
good. There you
haven't
go.
broken the mental chains of oppression and suppression and survival
Mm,
that has been put in
mm,
us, conditioned into our minds,
yeah.
that we don't know what's wrong from what's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is good. That is good. Um, I totally could see that. Just even in my own life, how I was up, brought on the south side of Chicago. Um, the mind shift, it takes so much to peel the layers back. To really, you basically have to really reprogram yourself. Um, because growing up, all I knew was us. Um,
And how
we
you
had
can't
fire.
trust everybody. How you gotta keep your head on a swivel because you never know who around the corner lurking. I
Man,
know,
that is true. Yes, yes. And then here I go, my freshman year in high school. We had a fire in my eighth grade, so that made us end up living with my mom's mom out in the
mm,
suburbs. And that was a whole new world, Andre. I was like, wow, who are these people?
it's
Just
like night and
you know.
day.
Um, but yeah, the mindset is real. um we have to do some reteaching of ourselves, and then of course our offspring, our
Mm,
children.
100%.
um totally. So now do the last letter part. Tell me again your meaning of resilience.
I think we talked about this last time. I didn't know you were gonna ask me again. I wasn't prepared to answer the
Oh
question.
yeah, I'm always gonna ask that.
Um, hmm, my definition of resilience is when the odds are completely stacked against you, and you look like you can't win,
Mm-hmm.
but you still pick up whatever it is and go at it with all you got. That's resiliency.
That's
Because
good.
it's easy to say, "Ooh, it don't look good. I don't think I can come out victorious.
Right.
I'm even gonna try." And
Wow.
they say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But so many
Mm,
times we decide not to shoot. We say, you know what? This just don't look right for me today.
yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I'll wait till tomorrow.
I'm telling you. Look, that's
I'll
good.
cross that bridge when I get there.
Yes. Yes.
Well, why
Yes.
not make sure that there is a bridge for you to cross?
There you go. There you go. So now that we're talking about this bridge, let's cross over to this bridge, to our men, to our
Hmm.
black men. I would actually want to aim at right now, in this mindset change that we need, um, out in this world, as the providers, as heads of households. um, and a financially sounding board, for many families. Let's talk about that. Elaborate.
Oh my goodness. Fellas, to my fellas, I want to start by saying I don't blame you, but it has to be you.
Mm,
I don't blame you for the way you think, the way you act, the way you always feel like someone's over your shoulder looking for you. I don't blame you for feeling like that. But I do challenge you because it has to be you that breaks that chain, that breaks that feeling, that
yes,
does not continue to pass that feeling along down the line. The
that's good.
generational train has to stop with you. You're listening to this call today because God put you here to say no more mental chains. I have to break free. I cannot continue to be stuck and stagnant and in my mind more than I am in my emotion, in my
Yeah,
moves to protect and lead my family. Because, like I said, it's not your fault that you always think about hmm, the police around the corner. It's not your fault. You only know what you've seen. They started from sheet linen clothing and now they wear the same linen with a badge. I understand it's not your fault.
and let me pause you right there. We're gonna say some guys. We're not talking about
Some,
all that wears
correct.
the badge. And also, I would like to say, men, it's just time for y'all to change the narrative. Just like us women, it's time for us to change the narrative. It's time for us to take more responsibility, start learning, and start doing. All right, Andre.
Sorry, I got off in the tangent, but you're right. It's not all, and that's what, but that's how we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned that no police are good police. We've been conditioned that you can't trust anybody, that you can't trust your family when it comes to money, that you can't trust
Right.
everybody with anything, everything. We have been conditioned not to believe in other people. But I
Mm,
submit to you that it's other people that can help us way further than we ever can.
mm,
If we
mm.
depend on no one, the only person that we have to depend on is ourselves. And I guarantee you, you will fail. So when you fail and you have no one else to call on, what is that the end?
Right.
It's because we have been conditioned to only believe in self. I only got myself. I can't depend on anybody else. We have been
Mm,
so isolated in our minds. We've been divided and isolated. And when you understand the enemy's mission, you understand that he comes to steal, kill, and destroy, but also to
yes.
separate and divide. Because where he can cause division and confusion,
Yes. There you go. Mm-hmm.
he can come in and say one thing and make it sound different to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
what I'm telling you is we've been conditioned to hear and feel this way. But what if we can trust all of our people? What if we got to a place that we can that anytime that I've seen another brother or sister, I'm like, yep, that's good people.
Mm-hmm.
That's the life that we have to expect.
And Andre, this is where I would say is a time to tap into your faith. Um, dig into your word. So you could pray and ask God for discernment, ask for wisdom, so that He can show you um, who to trust. You know, show you the route to take, um, and lead you, guide
Yeah.
you, especially as the men being the head. Period. Head of the household.
So let me
God,
ask you a question.
yeah.
If you take away the head, what happens?
Oh my God, you shit, you delirious. You gonna die.
You have no direction, you have no guidance,
None.
you have no
None.
clue whatsoever. And I tell you that I asked you that question because that has happened to our families. That has happened
Mm,
to most, a good portion of, to where that you can say most black families experience a period without their spiritual, financial, personal leader in their life.
Mm, wow, that is real.
So it's not your fault. I don't blame the way you think. I don't blame the thoughts and the emotions and the feelings and the actions that come behind absence,
Mm,
because it was intentional absence.
right, right,
It removed the
right,
head to cause chaos.
right. That's real. Yet it comes a time when it's time to mature and stand up and not lean on that because of what happened. I'm just saying we don't want to use it as a crutch.
And we can't no more. Just
Yes,
because you know what has been does not have to be.
exactly. As you say, and break that generational curse, break these cycles. Yes, start afresh. So, with that in mind, in your experience, Andre, what's the biggest mindset shift you'll need to make managing money through a faith based lens? Um, yeah, what would be the biggest mind shift you think? Mindset
I,
shift.
I would say the biggest mindset shift is going from survival mode to thriving, having the idea of thriving. Because, see, most of us,
Mm,
we are stuck in this survival mode. I have to make it until my next check. I have to
mhm.
make this stretch until I get paid again, because we are so unsure of where the next dollar is coming from that we're like, oh my goodness, this might be the last money I touch for a minute, for a month.
Right.
But when we start believing that God will provide, I have multiple streams of income to pour into my household. So if one is missing, another one isn't.
Yes, that's
When
good.
the stock market is losing, I still have rental income coming in.
Mm. So let's go to the basis though. I'm loving that. I'm loving that. But how do they build to that? Like what would be like your first initial step to start changing your mindset to get into having those rental properties, to investing in the stock market?
It has to start with your five senses. It has to start with what you hear, what you see, what you say, what you
Mm,
feel, all of that, right? So
mm.
I decided to make a shift in my life. I had to stop listening to certain music. I had to
Oh
stop
my
repeating certain things that I was hearing. I couldn't keep saying I was broke when I wanted to be wealthy. I had to
God.
start
Right.
claiming the wealth that I wanted to walk in. I had to stop
Good.
listening to certain music and start putting on things like auto suggestion, which most of our people never even heard of.
That
What is
is
auto
true.
suggestion? Do you know? Have you ever
I,
heard that word before?
I've heard of the word before, but what is that?
Auto
Yeah.
suggestion is the auto suggesting to your mind what you want to happen in your life. So
Oh
when you
wow.
repeat words over and phrases over and over again, it's called auto suggestion. You are
Okay.
correcting the rewiring of your subconscious mind to
That's
start
good.
walking in the light of thriving success and not
Mm,
survival mode.
that's
So you
good.
have to start saying and hearing, I am so happy and grateful now that I have wealth and abundance to shed and to spread to others, to share and to
Wow.
spread to others. You have to say it. You have to say it. You have to hear it. You have to see it in your mind. You have to believe it. And
Mm,
then you keep walking. Because,
that's
see, when
good.
all your senses are focused on one thing, your actions and your habits start to align with that one thing. The more time you
Mm,
pour into this, the more
yeah.
your mind is focused, the more your body starts to move behind it.
Right. Right. Oh wow. This is good. So it's time to be more intentional.
Most
Yeah.
definitely starts with how we talk to ourselves, starts with the words that
Mm,
we hear, because what we hear is what we say. So the
that's
more good
good.
things we pour into our ears, the more good things that come out of our mouths. The more good things that come out of our mouths, the more good things that start to manifest in our lives.
That is good. That is really, really good. That is good. What's it called? What's the
Auto
word for it?
suggestion.
Auto.
And you use different things like affirmations to help you auto suggest your future. You can
Yeah.
write on sticky notes and place them around the house. I have going down into my room in my parents' house, I have all these affirmations that when I go over there, I still reread them and repeat them because I'm
That's
just
good.
programming my subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is so powerful. Sometimes it
Yes.
overtakes your conscious mind.
Yes. Yes. That's good. That's good. I find myself more and more telling people to protect their mind, especially with me working in the mental health field, seeing young adults, seeing teenagers, seeing children, seeing adults, seeing them all. Um, Man, it's sad. They're broken. Their minds are broken. Um,
We all go through a period of brokenness.
we do, but what I mean by brokenness, Andre, to where they lost their sanity,
Mm,
meaning they don't want to get it back. They're in this dark hole, this dark space, um, that they believe that's them, that's their norm. Like the young men I was overseeing last night, they're teenagers, 15 and 16 years old, minorities. Um, and they're so broken. They're so lost,
mm,
and all they could see is what they're doing and how they could get their next. And when I mean their next, like next meal or next fix, um, because that's where their mindset is. That's where their rearage have been and what their life is right now. And
and
I
that's
am
all they're exposed to.
exact.
And it's so frustrating because as you get exposed to more, you see how God just really can move. But if you've never been exposed to it, it's like I
Exactly.
I've
Exactly.
walked both sides of the life, and it's like I
Mhm.
was exposed to the streets, and I get it, and it's like I can resonate so well with that because I know
Mhm.
that for some people, goodness, it's just so rough in life, and
It
you
is.
just don't know. There's so much uncertainty about where you're gonna sleep tonight, if you're gonna get a meal before you go to sleep tonight. You know,
Right.
it's so unfortunate that that's usual for us.
Right.
I won't
Right.
say usual, but but it's more common than it
Mm.
should.
There we go. Yeah. 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 It was just heartbroken. It was just really hard. And I was just praying, silently, of course, because this place, wasn't faith based, of course. But I'm just wondering how can we reach them? How
Mm,
can we get more programs out here and more mentoring out here, to reach them, to help
mm,
them, to try to help them reset their mindsets, their minds, to let them know that this is not the end. This is not what your life have to be, you know? Um, Man, I didn't know all this was going to happen today, but look at God. Here we are talking about this such thing.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm gonna dig more into that and just see more that I could do. But
Mhm,
moving on, um, can you share like some practical examples of kingdom stewardship? I want to call it, what it looks like in action.
mm. Okay, so for that, we're gonna talk about men being looked at as the provider
Hmm.
because men are for certain looked at as a provider, but it's not just financially. See, when people hear the word provider, they hear
Yeah,
someone's paying the bill, someone's bringing home income. But
yeah.
a provider is someone who provides peace, someone who provides
Mm,
comfort, someone who provides whatever the family needs that
mm-hmm.
the father, the husband will go out and find and provide it for the family. Whether
Yeah.
it's resources, information, shelter, food, water, finances, whatever it may be, we are looked at as to go and get it and bring it back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in a time where peace is such a rarity, and we don't have the mental clarity to see where we want to be, we
Mm-hmm.
can't be that provider of peace.
Mm.
And when men don't have money, there
Oh,
can't be no peaceful household. I'm gonna just tell you that.
no, I agree with you. I fortunately hate to say, but I agree with you. I
I'm gonna
agree
actually
with
drop
you.
this fact that money stress is actually the number one cause of divorce.
Wow. Yeah.
It all starts from stresses around money. When you
Yeah.
don't have a plan over your money, and it's more than just math. It's emotional. It's our identity. It's our self sense of worth and value. When
Yeah.
our finances feel out of control, we do three things: either we pull back, we shut down, or we just act out. We act absurd.
That yes, there you go. That is real. That
Because see,
is
these
so
money
real.
problems, they don't just live in your wallet. They live in your relationships, in your mood, and in your mind.
Yes. 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 That is
And
real.
so the first thing we talked about being practical, the first thing you have to identify, what is my problem?
Mm,
Because see, you never look for a solution until you identify a problem.
right.
So if you don't think you have a money problem, you don't go looking for the money solution.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. It's
But
actually acknowledging it. Yeah.
living check to check, living not knowing if your money gonna stretch for months, not having 3 to 6 months saved, to where if anything happened at your job, you could still pay bills for 3 to 6 months.
Wow. Yeah.
That's step one
Mm-hmm.
in
That's
practical
good.
pieces. Is saving enough of your overhead expenses to where you can say, all right, if anything happened on one of my incomes, I still
Mm-hmm.
got the bills covered for a couple of months.
Yeah. And start small, guys. I'm just speaking from experience. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't taught about finances either growing up. I was the same, paycheck to paycheck, just making it where I could make it, especially when I was taking care, raising my kids.
Mm,
Um, Start small because you might have some debt you got to knock off. You know, I still have a couple of more I got to knock off. I'm getting there though. Um, Start small. Put that $5, $10 aside. I know it's not a lot, and you're like, what? It still adds up. It still adds up. You know, Communicate. Go seek. That's me. That was my big thing. I just hid under a
mm,
rock.
mm.
No, it's tools out there um, to help you. Um, and what I could say is get over yourself. Get over that pride. Try to kick it aside. Like you're saying, that mindset, so you can achieve this. Like you're saying, so you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck, and learn to be more disciplined. Yeah,
It
yeah,
Listen, and I want to say this too to all of your listeners, man, woman, everybody needs to understand that it's okay not to have it all figured out. Okay,
yes.
it's
That's,
okay not to know it all.
that's
But
good.
what's not okay is to act like you know it all when you don't know enough.
Man, yes, that
Because
is
so many times we'll say, "Oh no, I got that all figured out. Oh no, I got it all worked out."
right.
Knowing you don't have a plan, but you just don't want to feel vulnerable
That's good.
enough
That's
to
so
someone
real.
else to say, "Hey, no, I really could look a sec. I really could take a second look." And listen,
Mhm,
I'm offering free
mhm,
service.
mhm.
I will sit down with you and give you a game plan and tell you what's going on, what you can do for free. We can sign for 30 minutes, for 45 minutes for free. And I'll just give you what you have, how I think you can improve on it, or if you're good. Like,
Wow,
just take the help to ask the question. Some
wow.
my mentor told me, he said, most of us don't GET because we don't ASK.
What that sound like the sister that I have in my corner. The same, same. Wow, that is good. That is really good. That is really good. So, how can they reach you? Is it good the website we have going across? How can they reach
Yes.
out to you?
So if you go on this website, you'd have to go to contact us.
Okay.
However, if you're on Facebook and or Instagram on Meta, my Facebook name is Andre Bell. You can look me up. My profile picture should look like me. um, and I have a link tree. You can set up a free consultation in there. We can sit down, talk for 30, 45 minutes, and we can make it happen because we have to continue to educate our community and empower our community to do better. I can also give you the office number. Um, the office number is 248
Mm-hmm.
356
Mm-hmm.
6555. You can call them and ask to set up an initial consultation with Mr. Andre Bell. They'd be happy to get you on my calendar. We're interviewing new families to see how we can help you, how we can assist you. We offer plenty of financial services, and we want to just be a resource to our community, to be a guiding light for anyone looking to retire with a smiling face. So we help with 401k management, we help with IRAs, we help with all types of insurance, we help with mortgages, anything you're looking to do financially. We help with taxes, tax planning, and strategic planning. Anything you can really imagine, everything finances. We have a one-stop shop family of companies that has been awesome and a beacon of light for 25 years, and we're looking to go 25 more years with the help of all of you guys involved. So I think we. But yeah, I know we got some more. I don't know. I know we got some more time. I don't know if you. I don't know how we're looking on time, but if we want to go into more, I'm still here.
We could go 5 more minutes. What's
Okay.
on your mind? Talk to us.
You only got 5 minutes. If we only got 5 minutes, then I'm gonna share a story. And I remember coming home. I was in 6th or 7th grade, and I remember coming home, and my mom was sitting at home by a kitchen table, and she was reading this paper, and she just had tears in her eyes. And I just come home from school. I had a pretty good day at school. I didn't really have no issues, but coming home, seeing my mom in such a distress, it really bothered me. And I looked at her, I said, "Mom, is everything okay?" Moms. "Yeah, baby, everything is good." And you can just tell that everything wasn't okay. And, I never asked any questions, but it was that day that I knew I had to do something different to help my mom. And to be able to fast forward today, or a couple of days ago, I called my mom and I was like, "Ma, like, what you need? How can I take care of you?" I was like, because remember them days when you was reading envelopes and you wasn't happy about it? I said, "Mama, don't worry. We not poor no more." We used to be poor. We not poor. We used to be poor, like without the OR. So it was so pleasuring and pleasing to call Mama and say, "Mama, what you want to do today? I want to take you somewhere. Let's go to lunch." We just not poor no more. She came and she celebrated our 25th on Friday with our company, and she was like, "Wow, just to see what this company has done for the community." She was just in awe, and I was like, "Yeah, Mom, this is where we're headed."
That's awesome.
She was in awe. So
that is wonderful. That is really wonderful. Sound like my oldest daughter. She was giving me a spiel the other day, and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna be all right." I was like,
we're
"Yeah,
gonna be all
right." I said, "We sure are." Nothing but God, because He got this, and I'm listening. Mama's finally listening. Oh my goodness. This was good. This was good. So now I am seeing a part 3 because we got to dig deeper. We got to dig deeper and talk more to give them some more tools, some more steps is how I'm seeing it. And prayerfully bring them to you. So we all can stop living paycheck to paycheck, y'all. Seriously, I know all about it all too well. That trying to just push through, just make it for that day, Even though God did tell us not to worry about tomorrow, He still say be wise, and be fruitful. So let's do that, y'all. Let's do that. Go ahead. Last words, Andre.
Let's do it. I mean, when you talked about when you went in the word, I started thinking about the story of the 3 sons.
Oh yes. Yes.
He gave them some money.
Yes.
And one of them ran away and spent it. One night.
Yep.
The other one, he He buried it, didn't he?
Charity. Yep.
He buried it. And it
Yep.
came him out. At least he
Yep.
didn't lose. The other guy, he invested it
Yes, he
and
did.
had double.
Yes. Yes.
And see,
Yes.
God wants us to invest. He wants us to invest our time, our money,
Yes.
our resources into each other,
Yes.
into one another. What information can I provide? Can I give? What value? What can I give to you? How can I help enrich your life? That's our job. How can I make your life easier?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if we start all living with that servitude in our hearts,
That's good.
I promise you, we will all start to reap the benefits of a culture that is built around success and thriving than it is surviving.
Man, that is good. That is rich. That is rich. You know what just popped in my mind real fast before we go? Um, what many of us really, a lot of us don't celebrate, don't practice, rather, I want to say, because I know I didn't grow up knowing about it. Maybe a little, but yeah. Kwanzaa.
Mhm.
Look, those principles are real.
Yes, they are.
We're gonna have to dig into that one time. We're gonna have to come back and dig into that. Yeah, we're gonna have to do an episode around that time. I need you to break
Okay.
it
So
down.
far, it's special.
Yeah, yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate you all, Andre. I appreciate you. You know, as I always tell my guests, thank you for your time. It is precious. We don't get it back. And thank you for these nuggets. We need this. We gotta learn. Y'all, we gotta learn and do better. And I'm talking to myself, y'all. I really am. And you all will hear me a lot during my episodes. I am. I'm walking this walk with y'all. I use me as an example, and it be rough sometimes. Like you're saying, you want to swallow that pride and get rid of them emotions. You know, don't want to feel a certain type of way. But yeah, it be rough.
It's hard.
Um, it does, especially like you're saying when you don't have that sounding board. You know, family. I
You
have a
don't
new
have
community
to.
that I'm building, but I'm just thanking God. I'm thanking God that He is inputting wisdom in me. And I hope He's doing that for all you guys too, that you're praying for wisdom. I'm praying for steps for Him to guide you, speak to you, because we need it. We need it in these times, especially. And it's time to buckle down. It's really time to buckle down. And no more games. No more games. So, Andre, thank you so much, my resilience family, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank
I
you.
am so grateful. Yes, so welcome.
I really
I
appreciate you bringing me back. You didn't
Yes,
have to.
we have
Uh,
to talk about this though. We really have to talk about this. We really
yeah.
do. So, guys, if this episode sparked something in you, or gave you a fresh financial insight, please share. Share it, share it, share it. Leave a comment, guys. Subscribe. I truly appreciate it. And let's keep helping one another because we are the resilient one community, guys. I
Mm,
appreciate you guys. So let's keep this faith and finance movement going, guys. Don't let this be the end. And let's thrive. Let's thrive this year and beyond. So, my
yeah.
resilience family, stay well, stay safe, and always, always, stay resilient, guys.